Episode 5. The parking spot isn't the perk. This is something almost nobody understands until they live it. People see blue parking spot near the door and think, wow, must be nice. What they don't see is everything it took just to qualify to use it, and everything you deal with once you do. One of the first things you gotta do is you gotta get cleared to drive again. When I decided I wanted to drive again, it wasn't just a decision, it was a process. Before the keys, before a vehicle, before anything, one of the first things they did, they put me in this room with this board covered in hundreds of lights. One flashes, you reach for it again and again and again. It measures reach, reaction, control. At the time, I'm thinking, what in the world is going on? I've been driving my whole life. What does this have to do with anything? But I soon learned as a paralyzed driver, everything gets tested. The next thing you gotta do is you could prove you can do it. Then it came to the driving itself. Hand controls, real traffic, real turns. An instructor came down from St. Louis, spent hours with me. He didn't rush it. He explained everything. Rules, edges, cases, what changes when you drive this way. It wasn't clarifying. It wasn't clarity. It wasn't clarity. It was clarification. It was certification. Right, it was certification. And when it was over, I didn't feel lucky. I felt qualified. Most people just use the handicap spot. They don't really think about it. They just use it as a convenience thing. Once I had my truck, people made it sound simple. You've got plates, you're good. Just park in handicap. Nobody explains that the parking spot is the hardest part because everyone else thinks they can use it too. People treat handicap spots like suggestions. I'll just be a minute. Or there aren't that many people in wheelchairs. I'll be quick. They park in the blue striped access zones like it's extra space, like it's for motorcycles, like it doesn't matter. The blue area isn't decoration. That's where the ramp goes. That's how you get in and out of the vehicle. Without it, the spot's useless. Sometimes it gets awkward out there. I've had people question me, ask me if I'm really handicapped. Once, a guy pulled up next to me and just yelled in my window, "Hey, are you handicapped?" I showed him I real quickly reached down and I grabbed one of my wheelchair wheels and I pulled it out the window. And he calmed down and he said, "Okay, just checking. People like to hang out in these spots." I smiled. I didn't say what I was thinking, but the irony was thick. You gotta learn how to adapt around everyone else. At work, I don't even use handicap spots sometimes. I park near walkways, odd spots, where, anywhere people usually avoid. Not because I don't need the spot, because able-bodied people fight over them. And many don't know how to park in them correctly anyways. So you adapt. Again. It's the perk people don't understand. Some cities map handicap parking downtown. If you find one and your tags are valid, you don't have to pay. Sounds like a perk, but here's the part nobody mentions. You'll almost never find one open. So the benefit exists on paper, but not in practice. Okay, Let me close with this. The handicap parking spot isn't a reward. It's not a convenience. It's not a luxury. It's access. And access only works if people respect what it's for. Most people don't mean harm, they just don't know. And you don't know until you're the one who needs the space just to get out of your vehicle. Keep on rolling, my friends. Keep on rolling.